Welcome back to another episode of The Dish. We've got another softball icon legend here with us today, Coach Ken Eriksen from USF Softball. He's also a member of the Olympic Hall of Fame. He was a part of the coaching staff for the 2004 women's softball team that won gold and was one of the most dominant forces on the planet and maybe of all time in the softball world. So happy to have you here, Ken. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing terrific. You know, coming off of a whirlwind last 11 years with the national team, and finally getting back to coaching one team and beside my family, so that's two teams, right? But back in stabilizing a routine, so that's a good thing.
Perfect. Excellent. Great to hear. And we love that you're focusing on USF. Can't wait to see what's coming next for that program. But let's dive into the meat and potatoes here, if you will. So what was your experience like this summer? You came away with silver. Obviously, you didn't capture the gold, but it was an incredible tournament. And coming back and the final game, even, back and forth, real nail biting. What was it like being there in general, again, but also after a full year delay and with everything that's still going on in our world surrounding COVID and everything like that?
Yeah, no, it's a really great question. And thank goodness that we played the bat and ball game. And the bat and ball game, you have rainouts and you have delays where other sports you don't, right? So we're kind of more adaptable as ball players for that respect. However, at the same time, the stress levels of, are you going to play? Are you not going to play? Are you going for a whole year? That went on. And then this summer, the same thing. We didn't have our entire coaching staff together till like 6 weeks prior to the Olympics. And that took its toll through the time and the training and et cetera. However, all said and done, Mike, let's make no bones about it. We got to the gold medal game against Japan, couldn't catch a break. Japan played really well. They deserved the gold medal. We had some bad luck and some unfortunate plays that I'm sure everybody's still like, wow, I've never seen anything like that. But we got to the gold medal game in the toughest tournament that we've ever played in because all six teams were really, really good, and you can see by the batting averages. I think the tournament batting average was like 177. You had the 18 best pitchers in the world throwing. And so for us to do what we did was really, really cool. And it came down to the gold medal game. And like I said, Japan played well. But I want you to think about the stress levels of, each day you're training, you're getting up, and then you might not play. You're up, and then you might not play. And then when you get over there, you're having to take a COVID test every single day. That if something comes back negative, the entire tournament's wiped out. Because the contact tracing with all the teams was ridiculous, right? So for our sport, which people need to know, our sport, 6 teams from around the world, not one positive COVID test in 2-week period.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Incredible, right? So the women of our sport really took it to heart about staying isolated, and did it take its toll on some players, not just us, but everybody else with stress levels? Of course it did. It was a different Olympics. We weren't allowed to do things, weren't allowed to go places. You're under the lock and key pretty much, the Japanese keepers that were over there during this time. But all said and done, from watching on television, you saw a great tournament. You saw a great gold medal game. And people need to be proud of the fact that their sport represented really, really well worldwide.
Absolutely. And, we expect nothing less from Team USA, but it is a kudos to the individual athletes, to the coaching staff, yourself, others, obviously, and to the tournament organizers to make sure that they were putting the procedures in place that would keep everybody safe. Under those kind of conditions, how did it feel to walk away with that silver medal, to represent Team USA and to make it you made it to the final game. Like you said, bounces didn't go our way. But at the end of the day, now that you can reflect back on it, how does it feel to be a part of that?
It feels tremendous that you're an Olympic medalist, number one. And how many teams actually go to the Olympics, or how many track and field athletes go to the Olympics, or how many individual, performances are there that don't even get on a medal stand that are Olympians, right? So for our women who battled through a lot of things, their last tournament was in 2019 in Peru, at the Pan Am Games, where all the other countries had some opportunities to do things. I think it's a testament to the United States of America's players and their heart and their dedication to keep up. And like I said, go through a pool play undefeated, get to the gold medal game. And do the thing. I think you got to be really, really proud. And I don't think everybody realizes either that 5 minutes before the 5th game of the tournament against Japan, both Japan and we were contacted and said, this could be the gold medal game because we had the typhoon coming in. And it was a really good chance that it would get wiped out the next day. It was really amazing that we were able to play it, which I thank goodness we did. But, we had a coach under the duress of, this is the gold medal game. And for Kelsey Stewart to hit a home run in the bottom of the 7th on a walk-off was phenomenal. It was just tremendous and uplifting. And but I really think that the fair thing would have been to do, and I said this to our national executive director, who was great, Craig Kress. I'm like, look, if we get wiped out tomorrow, we're sharing the gold medal with Japan. The tournament was to get to the gold medal game. Both teams got to the gold medal game. It's only the right thing to do. And the Japanese coach, Sugi, is a phenomenal woman, phenomenal players. We've got great relationships with that team. They did a lot of work just getting sport back into the Olympics, right? So all the pressure was on them, and they did a great job, man. They really, really did. But I'm proud of all the women that played for the United States. I was glad to get to see them compete. And I think over time that the people say you don't win a silver. I'm going to call BS on that. Japan won the gold medal, but we sure as heck didn't lose the gold medal. That was, and I hope people realize that the difference sometimes between gold and silver is a fingernail's length, as Michael Phelps has proven to people. It's the same in our sport. It was really cool. I think it'll reflect back on years ago. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, again, just a kudos to the athletes, the players, scratching and clawing for every inch under these circumstances, and to the entire, I don't know if it goes out all the way through the IOC or anything like that, but to the planning committee, because again, from our standpoint, it was an amazing tournament to watch. Based on that, what do you think are going to be the biggest takeaways that you can actually bring back to USF and help coach your players up now, and maybe, learn from some of the things you figured out in Tokyo?
I think the adaptability, flexibility of athletes is important, specifically in college right now with COVID that's going on. And, now the NCAA is coming down with mandates. In football, you see it where, like, okay, if your team COVID tests positive and you guys can't play, it's a forfeit. At the end of the day, and I hate to say this, but I think you might realize this is it. On your deathbed, it's not going to be like, I wish I won one more game. I wish I played this and that. It comes down to I spend enough time with my family and the loved ones. And, this is still a game that kids play. So what we try to teach our young women in college is exactly what the national team just displayed. And that was the flexibility, adaptability, control the things you could control. You hear it all the time, control the controllables. But really during this time, this era of time in all our lives, it really is probably the most truthful statement that you can have. Every day is not guaranteed. Every game is not guaranteed. And so enjoy your practice time. Enjoy your time with your teammates. Look to the left, look to the right, and understand that the scoreboard lies sometimes. You can play great and not win, and you can play like crap and win. But just go out and compete and try to do the best you can. And but train for that. Just don't expect like I'm going to rise to the occasion. That doesn't happen. You got to put the work ethic into it. Those young women that went to the Olympics, their work ethic is incredible. It's not that they have blinders on. They kind of open focus to a lot of things that go on, but they keep the main thing the main thing. And if we can do that as young people between 18 and 22, I think we'll be in great shape.
Absolutely. And you said something so important there that I think is just, it needs to be ingrained into every up and coming athlete, is that focus, but also the ability to have that resolve, to have that mental fortitude where it's like, yeah, you're going to train as hard as you possibly can, and maybe even harder today with no guarantee tomorrow, but that's just a part of the journey. And I remember even, again, not at the level you guys are at by any means, but even in my own training coming up, it was once I got to that moment where it didn't matter, I was going to train as hard as possible because I knew it was the right thing to do. And I knew it would help down the line, even though I didn't know how at the moment. That is so important to, again, that resolve to allow you to step up in those moments when they happen and to just enjoy the ride along the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Okay. I think that's the one right now that people are missing. They're missing the climb. They're missing the journey of that. To your point, we're going to put hay in the barn, if we need it. We get all that, right? But man, enjoy the climb, enjoy the struggle, enjoy the grind, because when it's over, and I've been through the gold medal in 2004 and went through this time, you know, with the silver. As soon as the last out is made, Mike, it's over.
Yep.
It's done. Okay. And there's a crash factor that goes on, not just with the athletes, but with the coaches, right? Like, you know what? Okay, we're on the medal stand and you got gold, but it's over. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to go back to the grind because that's what we all thrive on, right? And that's a tough one to understand for people that haven't been in the fire, to like, you know, okay, we're going to celebrate, but whoa, it's over. Yeah, that's right. What's next?
Yep, exactly. And then, yeah, finding that is a whole nother issue that we could talk about at a later date. But Coach, want to be mindful of your time. Appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts about your time over there, what you're bringing back, what you're looking forward to next, or anything Rawlings in general?
You know, Mike, when we stand up for the national anthem, and this is important, that flag represents what you feel about is great in this country. Nothing to do with politics. Sport transcends it all. It gives you a great perspective that you're representing, you know, from Yuma, Arizona, you know, Chula Vista in that corner of the world, all the way to Bangor, Maine, you know, and across the top. You're representing your people and your country, regardless of their political affiliations, regardless of anything else. We're the United States of America. And man, that's pretty powerful, you know. And when it comes down to it, like I said, I always relate things to your deathbed. It's not going to be, hey, I wish I was a Republican. Hey, I wish I was a Democrat. Hey, I wish I was independent. No, man, I was a citizen of the United States of America. And these young women, they did it right, man. They did it right.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate the time. Best of luck at USF. We'll be watching them closely. Hopefully you're knocking it out of the park, figuratively and literally. And we'll see you soon, Coach. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it, man.